Another Tuchel masterclass, another win against Pep Guardiola. This Chelsea machine moves forward again and again and again. Hit that like button, share this stream. Here we go. Thomas Tuchel does it again. The second half performance was absolutely majestic. They exploited the left-hand side of Manchester City's defence. They nullified City to very little opportunities. The psychological battle has been won by Thomas Tuchel ahead of the gargantuan Champions League final in 3 weeks' time. Chelsea also move to third in the league table. They leapfrog Leicester City that bottled it yesterday. What an end to the season Thomas Tuchel and Chelsea are having. It was a majestic performance, there's no doubt about it. Need you to do me a bit of admin first of all. Welcome to everybody watching on the Football Terrace over here on YouTube and everybody watching on Give Me Sports Facebook page. I hope you're all doing very well. As ever, we're running a competition. Guess who my man of the match is? Super chat in my man of the match. And if you get it right, you'll go into the prize draw to win a football shirt of your choice, plus a variety of other prizes like a Rode podcasting microphone. We've got some brand new gaming headphones to give away as well. So super chat in who you think my man of the match will be. Lots of people tuning in on Give Me Sport as well right now. I hope you're all doing good. I want to go to some super chats first of all. C here says, we deserve that win today. All the City fans underestimated us, and that's what you get. Also, Anthony Taylor should never ref a game again in his life. In fairness, I thought he had a shocker today, the ref. In both directions, I think there's some terrible, terrible decisions. There's no doubts at all about that. I am going to share the link very soon for you to come on and have your say. So if you're new to watching the Football Terrace, we share a link for every stream so you can come on, you can have your say, and so you can get involved. We have another super chat. This is from KC, who says, not a masterclass. Aguero is the most overrated striker ever. Not even top 5 of this decade. City outplayed them and should have been awarded a penalty, is what KC has to say. I thought it was a masterclass. I legitimately thought it was a masterclass today. The way they dominated in that second half, Chelsea. I truly, truly did. So many super chats coming in here. Lots of over on Facebook saying Reece James maybe. Comment here says some dose of humility for the City fans. Pride of London will be worth a chance at the Premier League title next year, is what Darren Wright has got to say over on Give Me Sport as well. And I think he's absolutely bob on. They are well. If you're a betting man or a betting woman, Chelsea have got a really good opportunity. I can't get all these super chats up because the comments are coming too quickly. But we got this one here from Harris, who says, I feel that statistically speaking, it's not like we will beat City 3 times in a row. But that's not statistically speaking. That's more about probability and chance. What is the likelihood of you beating them 3 times on the bounce? But psychologically, you nullified them to very little. And even the goal they scored came from Christensen pulling a hamstring when he was running. You weren't outplayed. You weren't outmaneuvered. You weren't outmuscled. You simply weren't. And even statistically speaking today, let's look at it. Chelsea had more of the ball. You had 10 shots to their 6. They had 16 shots to your 10, but it was 4 shots on target from them and 3 on target from you. In terms of actual chances created in the game, you had 9, they had 12. They're at home. They're champions. It wasn't like City had an abundance of chances. And do you know what? If Werner could keep himself onside, it would have been a battering. Zane here says, Terry, it was our B team ready for the final. Come on, City, is what Zane has got to say. You lost the game there when you made the subs, but I hear you. Could Chelsea turn out to have a better season than City? That is a great question. And my view has always been very much the same on this. Always been the same on this. If Chelsea win the FA Cup, finish in the top 4, and they win the Champions League, Thomas Tuchel is manager of the year. Aguero, Manchester is blue, and blue is the colour. Blue Moon says Aguero with swearing emojis. And I know why you're angry with Aguero. I thought scoring penalties didn't matter. Scoring penalties is so important in the game. It truly, truly is. Ref was horrid, but Chelsea deserved winners. The final goal looked too easy. Can't believe Aguero tried to chip the penalty like that. Yeah, I mean, what he did, it would have been a great goal if it goes in, but when they're missed, they're shockers. Jose here says City are going to destroy Chelsea in the Champions League. Big claims being made there. We're going to have another competition right now. By the way, over on Facebook, we're currently sitting on Facebook. I'm waiting for this to load up in front of me now. We're sitting on nearly 300 likes. We're on 471 likes on YouTube. Who's going to win tonight, Facebook or YouTube viewers? Which video is going to get the most amount of likes? YouTube have won the last 2. So they're going to all hit those like buttons right now. What about the Facebook crew? How many times are you going to like this and share this on your timelines with your friends and family? Get that done now. More super chats. Malik here says, lol, Aguero tried to take the P. I'm confident Chelsea will deal with City in the final. Thank God too. Couldn't have lived with them having a European trophy. Martin says here with a super chat, imagine getting gassed over this thinking you've won the Champions League. You Chelsea fans are going to get humbled in 3 weeks' time. Mr. Here is my rebuttal, says City Champions League winners, football gods are with City now. So many comments coming through. It's crazy. I'm actually struggling here to keep up with them all. Bad ref calls are a part of the game. We will take the win. Thank you, ref. But you say bad calls. I mean, Raheem Sterling probably should have been sent off in the opening few minutes. A studs high challenge, not on purpose, but he still did it. I think both the referee made some bad calls, but I don't think they were all completely one-sided in relation to that. Neville here. Liam Neville says, Terry, we are still champions for another week. Let's go. They say penalties are easy goals. That's only because Bruno and Salah make them look easy. Dinesh here says, Chelsea can win 3 games against City. Liverpool beat Tottenham 3 times on the way to their Champions League. This is true. Samuel here says, Billy Gilmore is the man of the match. Remember, we're giving away prizes if you can guess who my man of the match is. If you guess who my man of the match is with a super chat, you go into the prize draw to win a football shirt of your choice. We've got David backstage. We're going to be sharing the link very, very soon for you all to come on and have your say. I'm not too sure where everybody else is. I thought we'd be. Do you know, you can tell the world's going back to normal because even Jem, I messaged Jem. Jem's out today drinking. It's terrible. People, I find it disgraceful that people are getting on with their lives. I think it's a disgrace that people are going out, seeing friends and family and not watching football. It's atrocious, really, isn't it? Only messing. We've got a comment here from Facebook. It says, so they always say it's City's B team when they lose. What about Tuchel today? James, who's Garner? Do you mean Gilmore? I know why I put Garner in there. Alonso, Ziyech, Pulisic are Chelsea's B team too. Look, both teams rotated. It's not an excuse for me. Cameron here has guessed that Reece James is the man of the match. Maybe, maybe not. We will see. Oh, look at that. The numbers of likes. YouTube, you're currently on 735. Facebook, just under 500. Facebook are catching YouTube right now. Amazing. Go on Facebook. Go on Facebook. Sam over on Give Me Sport here says Thomas Tuchel has beaten Guardiola, Simeone, Jose Mourinho, Klopp and Zidane this season. Can they win the Champions League? Do you know what? Of course they can. It's without a doubt they can. Without a doubt. I also, when you call up tonight, I want to hear about the controversies. Should City have had a penalty in the dying moments? Should Raheem Sterling have been sent off? I've heard a rumor. There's not so much a controversy. It's more of a rumor. I've heard a rumor out there that Timo Werner's born offside as well. Why is that guy always? I've never seen. Listen, I thought Inzaghi used to be offside a lot. This guy is next level to that. Super chat here says Timo can't be dropped. He's so vital to this team. That's an interesting one there. That is an interesting take. Timo Werner, is he that crucial to this team? I've had quite a few super chats saying Reece James is my man of the match. Remember, it's who my man of the match is, who I would award it to. So you've got, it could be obscure. It could be non-obvious. It could be, someone who picks up a match winner. Who knows? I know Pav's just super chatted because I can tell by the emoji. Pav's super chat here says Thomas Tuchel giving Pep some new forehead stress lines. He classed him. Tuchel outclassed him today. Just outclassed him again. And Pep didn't know what to do. Pep changed his system today. He didn't change his system. That's a lie. Let me rephrase. He changed his formation today. He rotated. He threw on the big boys late in the game. He didn't have an answer. And yeah, they had quite a few sort of shots after the equaliser, City. They stepped it up a little, but nothing scary. Honestly, if I'm a Chelsea fan, I wouldn't be complacent. But I would go into this final so confident. It is unreal. It's unreal. Tell me who's B team. Sorry, tell me who's a B team in the City team. I get what you're saying there, bro. Yeah, listen, the City squad's stacked. I don't like it when these big clubs with huge squads act like, fringe team and all this. You got beat. You got outclassed. Too many kids following football. Chelsea led by a tactical legend. We deserved the win based on the second half. Fair is fair. And even in the first half, there was a mad 5 minutes at the end after the injury and then the penalty and the goal and the penalty. But other than that, Chelsea were comfortable. Barring that little brain fart moment, which Aguero messed up on. And look, he's a City legend. They're going to win the league, by the way. It's all done and dusted. It's over the line. But it's just an embarrassing performance. And I think psychologically, Chelsea are in the driving seat for this final. We're going to share the link very soon for you to come on and all have your say. I'm going to share it in the comments section on Give Me Sports Facebook first and foremost. And then I'm going to share it on the Discord, the YouTube server very, very soon as well. We're going to do that for you. How do I copy this? Why doesn't it let me do what I want to do? There we go. So it's posted over there on Facebook, and I'm going to post it now on YouTube as well. And we're going to go to the call soon. Daniel's backstage. Anita's here. Cameron's here. Cam, every time Cam slags off Chelsea, they pull off a madness. Do you know what I mean? Every single time. Dave is backstage as well. Sterling should have had a penalty. Ginger Fury, you tell me, bro. You tell me. We're going to go to the first call up. We're going to get Anita on the air to have her say after Chelsea do it again. Neats, welcome back. Another victory. Third in the league. Advantage Chelsea. Tell me your thoughts.
Boy, do you know the ones that I want to be super happy and I want to be like, yeah, come on, like we did it, yeah. But then I'm just nervous now because now Pep's going to come ham for the final. But do you know what? All of that aside, all of the superstitions aside, I think we played... Okay, I'm not even going to lie to you. First 40 minutes was a snooze fest. It was absolutely boring. It was dreadful to watch. And it was like neither manager wanted to pull out their cards first. No one wanted to make the first move. And it was just quite boring. But then... Obviously, after the first goal and then the Aguero penalty, which, by the way, was absolutely hilarious, Mendy literally looked up, caught the ball. I was like, cheers, mate. That was literally the penalty done. It was a ridiculous penalty. I've never seen something like that. And even Aguero, he should be absolutely ashamed of himself. Because I think 2-0 up at half-time puts Chelsea in a real mess. Yeah. I don't think we would have come back from 2-0 down, but... I'm happy that, we went 1-0 down and we managed to pull it back because that's something that we rarely see as Chelsea fans. So it's either we rarely go 1-0 down or when Lampard was here, we'd go down and we struggled to get back up. So
yeah,
it was nice to see that we could do that against the, soon to be current champions and best team in England at the moment. But yeah, I thought the match overall was really underwhelming. And like we said, remember on the preview, we said like we're not going to field out our strongest teams like on both sides. Like, do you remember when we said Jesus, Aguero?
And you got it bang on, even right down. I think you said both Alonso and Billy Gilmore would get a look in, and a lot of people scoffed at that, and they all played. I hear what you're saying about in terms of spectacle. It wasn't the greatest, but you must just be so encouraged though as a Chelsea fan that you just continue to get, even when you're rotating, you get better and better. You look comfortable. Your team doesn't get flustered when things go wrong. It must be so reassuring to see.
Yeah, and listen, like I can actually say, like Chelsea are back. Like even though it was underwhelming, like Chelsea are definitely back. It's crazy because it's not entirely our second team, but this is not, you know, our best players. This isn't the players that you will see in the Champions League final, you know. And we managed to go out there against the champions of England so far, soon to be, and we managed to pull out a good game. Like in the second half was much more entertaining to watch, and it was just like a tactical masterclass from Tuchel, wasn't it? Again and again, he always comes and brings tactics that every manager would hate to go against. And he said it when he came in. He wants to make Chelsea that one team that no team wants to play against. And you can see it in Pep's face. He did not want to play against us today. And he was, even though he was mad at the end, you can see that smile of, I need to fucking get these guys. Like, Like, you know what I mean?
You literally ruined their party today.
Yeah.
They score them 2 goals. They're crowned champions today. They can celebrate. Look, Man United are not going to catch them. We know that. But they just want to get that, you know, off, that sort of, you know, the elephant in the room, just get it out of the way type thing. But, you know, you've done it again. He looks frustrated, Pep Guardiola, and it puts so much pressure on him now, for me, in that Champions League final, because we already know the crap he's going to get if he doesn't win it. But if it's 3 games with Tuchel where he gets beat, the pressure's going to mount up hugely. And we'll get onto that a little bit later, Neeks, when we bring the panel back on. Well done, and we'll speak to you soon. Cheers. Thank you. Next up, David is here. David's a Chelsea fan. Give me your thoughts, bro.
I'm not going to lie. I was watching the game and I was like, to be honest, I'm really not bothered about what happens in the game. Because I was like, I'm looking at the City game thinking everyone's going to heavily rotate. It's not going to be the same team. So, like, the performance is important, but, like, the end result wasn't, like, the end of the world. I would have taken a draw. I was very happy with the draw. But obviously, nicking a win at the end, I'm not going to be like, oh, I hate it. Like, obviously, it's a great thing to have. Psychologically, what does it do for the final? I'm not too sure, because you could look at it from 2 ways. Of Chelsea will look at it and be like, we've beaten them twice, therefore we know we can beat them. They'll get complacent and City win. However, they could also look at it and go, we've beaten this team twice, and we know what to do. City will go into the game with added pressure of it not only being their first Champions League final, but knowing they're playing a team that clearly know how to beat them. And when both of the teams play their first, it'll be very interesting to see what happens. But I mean, it was a good game for both teams. I thought both teams played quite well. With Chelsea just edged it in the end. And also, right, this thing about the referee, all right, get over it. It's so annoying every week. Oh, the game's getting killed. Blah blah blah. Like, you're watching it every week just to complain. You're looking for reasons now to complain. The second penalty, the difference between the first one and the second one is the first one was given and the second wasn't. It's very simple to understand. It's not an embarrassment from the ref. Obviously, there'll be little challenges that you feel like you do deserve and you don't, but that's every week. But those 2 penalties, everyone's like, oh, it's clear. Like, if you'll give the first one, you've got to give the second one. But he didn't feel the second one was. And when he's VAR, because it hasn't been awarded, they're not going to overturn it because it wasn't a clear and obvious error. It's a very simple concept to understand, but people refuse to understand it simply because they just want to complain. It's really annoying.
Yeah, mate, I hear what you're saying there about that. I thought Zuma was lucky not to concede the penalty, but then I thought Sterling was lucky to be on the pitch after that tackle in the first half. We've seen red cards for those types of things given recently. I mean, we've seen red cards given recently for people clearing the ball, let alone actually going for tackles. So, you know, this is the thing with refereeing decisions. You win some and you lose some. You know, I didn't see City fans moaning about VAR when they rightfully disallowed Hudson-Odoi's winner a few moments earlier. You know, it depends on what side of the fence you sit on. But viewers, we want your views and opinions. David, we'll get you back on with the panel soon to have your say. Over 5,000 people watching. That's actually a lie. So over 7,000 people watching across all platforms right now. It's the second time in a week we've broken records on Chelsea stream. So massive thank you to all of you tuning in on my channel, The Football Terrace. over here on YouTube and the Give Me Sport Facebook page, plus Twitch and everywhere else that we're streaming right now. We are currently the biggest Chelsea stream and Man City stream, I suppose, on planet Earth. So a massive thank you to all of you. Next up, we're going to go and have a bit of a rival. We're going to check in with a rival now. Man like Cam's with us. Man United fan, Chelsea hater extraordinaire. What are you saying, bro?
Sure, man. I'll keep the hate out of it today because, I mean, I won't lie to you. I fell asleep before the first goal. Like, I woke up to the goal because it was so boring that first half. City's B team is not as good as it used to be, is what we're seeing now. And I'm not making an excuse for that. It was just like they're getting older. Like what Aguero did today, that's just clear complacency. That I think what he did shows how that team kind of approached the game. Like that is absolutely insane. Like what are you thinking? Like just lace it, end the game because they go up 2-0, it's done. The game's over. Or at least a draw. There's no way they're pulling back 3. I see why David has that 2 thoughts, and I agree with him because it's if you think about I thought the draw would have been the best result for Chelsea. I thought the draw would have been the best result. I think giving up that win at the end, you've galvanized the team now. If I'm Pep, if I'm City squad, you're like, okay, all right, we've lost twice to you now. Like now it's the same way I always said it with United. I believe in law of averages. I believe in Pep in a sense of like he's not going to lose to many managers 3 times. Yes, Ollie has done it, but remember the games that we lost in were always the most important games. So I see Pep now taking this UCL final a lot more serious. They just seem so complacent. Look how bad Mendy was. Look at how bad. Like it's just, no, I get it. Tuchel did a good job of the way he set up his teams was great, but they were some of them were so bad. Like Sterling was bad until like the goal was the only thing he did, and City has and then Chelsea had players show up.
I get that. Do you feel that's why? Do you feel that that's why there's a bit of a subdued mood from some Chelsea fans because they feel like we're not going to do it 3 times on the bounce, and maybe winning today is going to take that away from us. It's interesting.
You can feel it a bit. You could feel it a bit. Like Anita made a good point too. You could feel it where she's like, now is Pep going to go wild? Like it could happen, but also at this point, you now know you can beat them. That's the thing. So it's not like I always said it. Like we did it. Like Tuchel should be able to do if we did it. If Ollie did it, I will say the pen was a stone cold pen in my opinion. Like if you call the one on Billy Gilmore, it's the same thing. So it's just that's why I'm big on consistency. That should have been a pen, but I do agree with VAR not calling it because the VAR rules are clear and obvious. So if it wasn't a clear and obvious, to me, it wasn't clear and obvious. Cool, you can't call it after the fact, but they should have called it to begin with. Yeah, man, it's going to be an interesting final. I like the way things have lined up now. You know, the people are going to be on edge. We're wondering is City going to actually show up, or is Tuchel going to outclass him?
Mate, I couldn't agree with you more. It's going to be an interesting one. Cam, thanks for coming on, mate, and having your say. Really appreciate that, buddy. Top man. We're going to get Daniel on very, very soon. We've got Pav backstage as well, but we're going to go to Abs first of all. Abs is a Chelsea fan. What are you saying?
Okay, so what do you want me to say? That was good. There's not really... Sorry, go on.
Yeah, you phoned in. You must have something to say. Otherwise, what's the point?
No, but I didn't... No, not in that way. But in terms of... Here's the thing, Terry. I'm not going to get overly gassed because at the end of the day, it was our B team against their B team. Really and truly, if you think about it. Yeah, Tuchel, he put in, it's a good performance from Tuchel. Lil Durk at right wing back, Reece James. That's why I tell everyone it should be him starting, not Azpilicueta, despite what Azpilicueta has done for us. Alonso stepped in for Ben and Jerry's ice cream, left wing back, and was quite good as well. And yeah, just a very good all-round performance.
What do you make of the kind of mood around winning today? There seems to be this fear now amongst some Chelsea fans that maybe we've winning 2 on the bounce means we're less likely on a probability scale to win the Champions League final. Do you believe in that, or do you think it should give you even more confidence to go on and pick up your 2nd European Cup?
Do you know what it is, Terry? Ultimately, okay, I'll be honest. The whole law of averages thing, I'm sorry, it's a lot of bullshit, to be honest. Whoever turns up on the day is the team that's going to win. This whole law of averages, this whole probability stuff doesn't really matter. Because very, very soon, Terry, in less than a few weeks, we will see their A team against our A team, our manager using the tactics that they want to use. Because let's be honest, neither manager really wanted to show that cost there. That's why you could see it was really, really slow. Because if you saw us in that first half, we were poor. We were very, very poor in that first half. And
I hear you on them points there. Do you know what I would say that to it is this though? Playing your B teams, if you want to refer to them as that, is also key. You can make 5 substitutions in the Champions League. There could be injuries. Maybe your A plan isn't working. What Thomas Tuchel has demonstrated today that I can beat. He's beaten Pep with his A team, and he's beaten Pep with his B team or his secondary tactics or whatever which way around you want to look at it. He's led and won. He's come from behind and won in all preparation for the Champions League final. For me, I would only see it as a positive, but I'm not looking at it with nerves like a Chelsea fan because it doesn't really matter to me whether they win or lose. I'm a Man United fan. But Abs, thanks for calling in, mate, and having your say. Really appreciate that, buddy. Super chat here says, I didn't even know Aguero was playing. I just want the haters to admit that Rudiger is a better defender than Diaz. Keep up the good work, Terry. I don't know if anybody's going to admit that, but we will see. Agal is with us now. What are you saying, Agal?
Terry, these two teams, looking at their teams out today, it just makes me cry, man. Looking at those two teams, seeing how stacked they are. It's a new age, man. You need to have a bench that is so strong just to keep you through these games. The way games are coming thick and fast with everything with COVID, it's not a surprise that Chelsea looks like they're going to win the FA Cup. They're in that final of the Champions League, and Man City. But this game, it was a boxing fight, mate. I'm telling you, Terry. The way it works, it was a boxing fight. It was the first part of the fight, everyone's just feeling each other out. Then they were going blow for blow to see who could knock somebody else out. It should have been a penalty for Man City. No one can tell me it wasn't a penalty, but it should have been. It wasn't a penalty. Chelsea went on to go win the game. And you know what? This could be the worst thing that could have happened to Chelsea's hopes for winning that Champions League final. The fact that now they have Man City, knowing that they've lost to them twice, in back-to-back times, the most meaningful game of the season, they will know they've seen you twice, they've lost twice, and they know how they've lost those two games. This is mind games to its fullest, and I feel like at this point, Pep Guardiola knows what he needs to do, and I don't think Thomas Tuchel has the best of records when it comes to finals, and we know Pep's record in finals. I think he's only lost 2 major finals in his career as a manager, so I'm putting my eggs in Man City's basket. This game right now, you might have stopped their FA Cup run, you might have stopped their title party, but you're not going to start the Champions League party. I'm telling you that. This is the final straw.
Interesting points there, mate. We'll get you back on with the panel really, really soon. Agal has had his say there, ladies and gentlemen. Do you agree with Agal? We've got some great talking points when the panel arrives. So stay with us here on the Football Terrace. Don't go anywhere. We're here for the foreseeable. We're talking about the penalty, what this means to the final. We're talking about should Raheem Sterling have received a red card. Remember, you can still guess my man of the match. If you super chat it and you get it right, you'll go into the prize draw to win a football shirt of your choice. Super chat here says, you're hearing it here first. Chelsea will win the Champions League. We will just be as hungry as City, plus tactically will be ready. It must be so nice as Chelsea fans to be about to go into a Champions League final and just be so confident. Not like arrogant, but confident that you can do it. Rico here says, any Chelsea fan getting nervous by winning are honestly weak-minded. We still need to fully secure top 4. Champions League final is a 50-50. And that element's not even really been spoken about today, which I think the comment makes me laugh here. I'm not too sure who this guy supports. Is that Bayern Munich kit maybe? I'm not too sure. I mean, what a result for Chelsea's top 4 hopes. Because remember, it could also go wrong for Chelsea this season if they lost too many games. Imagine they don't win any of the finals and they fell out the top 4. It could go from 0 to 0 instantly. So it was a big and important win today. There's no doubt about that. And it's not really been spoken about. And I do get why, because everyone's got their eye firmly fixed on what's coming soon. There's a super chat here from Lamar Thomas, who says, City come outside, Pep come outside. I'm not scared. Lamar says he is not scared. Are any of you? We're going to go to Daniel now. Daniel, welcome back, mate. Congrats on the win today. Give me your thoughts on the game, brother.
Tactical masterclass, man. That's what you call a tactical masterclass. Quite simply put, the way Tuchel played that, especially in the second half, was almost an inch perfect. The timing of the substitutions, bringing off Kante, giving him much needed rest, bringing on Hudson-Odoi, who's been out of the picture for a lot, who was so intense. You saw that the left-hand side was a place where he recognized was a big weakness for Man City, and that's why Pep even brought off Mendy, but that didn't change anything that was going on that right-hand side for us and the left-hand side for them. I really love the move to bring on Jorginho, which helped Billy Gilmour grow into the half as well. I think Kante is one of those players who plays well very individually, but when he has a young guy beside him, he doesn't really take care of him, if that makes sense. Jorginho comes on, makes Billy Gilmour look much more assured. Rudiger, another fantastic display. I think Alonso chipping in as well. I've been one of his biggest critics, and he played really well. Reece James finally showing us that driving edge, and he's slowly convincing me in terms of taking him to the Euros. Like, I just think, surely, I mean, as a second option, he'd be quality. And just all round, man, like the fact that Christensen goes off, he's been one of our best defenders. Zuma slides in. I do think he was fortunate. I do think it was a penalty for sure. It was clumsy. But at the same time, again, the Sterling one, based on the decisions that have been made this season, you've seen those given as red cards. It was a bit reckless. It was a bit wild from him. So like, it goes hand in hand. I think the decisions go both ways. We scored 3 goals that were offside, and I mean, 2 were marginal and 1 was clearly offside. And if they just keep on side, we win this game by a bit more goals. I mean, there were a lot of chances for us in that second half, but all in all, Tuchel, I'm not all for that. Tuchel's won twice, so Pep isn't going to lose the third time. I hate that's such a fan type logic. Like, I think as a Man City player, and even being Pep, being the Man City manager, I think I'd be nervous. I'd be thinking, okay, we've got all the pressure in the world to win this game now, especially off the back of the fact that we've lost 2 games in a row to this guy. Like, Chelsea shouldn't win this Champions League. I want to put it out there. People are forgetting we shouldn't even be in the final. So we have no pressure on us. And the fact that I think going into next season as well, we are like, especially with the signings that we're going to make, we are going in level with City in terms of squad and how well I think we can play in the system that Tuchel's got. We got no pressure to play in that Champions League final.
Mate, I agree with everything that you have said. And that's why I think and we're going to get onto it with the group discussion very, very soon. I just think psychologically, you go into this game, and I think where you're going to have another advantage is you've still got a lot of competitive games between now and the end of the season. So I think that is just going to keep you legitimately match fit. Where I think there's an element of City where, a few games of complacency and rotation, some will say, they'll be fresher than Chelsea. But sometimes it's just good to be in that mindset of winning and playing to the best of your abilities and staying completely sharp. And listen, I would be so confident right now if I was a Chelsea fan going into this final. If I was a City fan, legitimately, I'd be really, really, really nervous.
Do you know what it is though? It's quiet confidence for me. Like, everyone's picking City. Every rival fan, most people are saying City. Pep's not going to lose. And look, I understand it, and this is the way I want it to be. Like, the reason why Chelsea have been so successful in the past is the fact that a lot of rival fans have hated how good Chelsea have been and how we've been able to grow and just been that annoying team that continue to win. Like, it's quiet confidence for me. I genuinely believe we have the tools and the minerals to beat Man City. And look, at the end of the day, look, in the grand scheme of things, Danny made a comment in the chat where when we were 1-0 down, saying it could all unravel for us. But I'm saying, look, Tuchel's on the path, especially with what could happen at the end of the season, to being Chelsea's greatest manager. The tools and the minerals are there to being Chelsea's greatest manager above Jose Mourinho, yeah.
And you know what? Because the football's prettier and more attractive. If he goes on to win a Champions League and 3 or 4 league titles, and the football's better, it'll be remembered more. Better, like when you win things with great football, it always gets remembered more. If you think about all the teams that get spoken about as the greatest sides, how many play average football is in terms of like they don't. It's total football. It's the great Barca teams, the great Man United, Liverpool teams. They all play scintillating football. So that'd be amazing, bro. We'll get you on back on with the panel real soon, Danny. Top man. I can see what Anita's doing backstage this whole time. It's been distracting me. It's been making me die. Absolutely hilarious. It's been killing. She's now laughing. I don't mean to look, but I've seen all sorts. Toothbrushes, everything. It's a madness. It made me laugh. We're going to get the panel on. We are going to take more of your calls as well. Keep hitting that like and share button. Huge numbers again. Over just thousands of people watching across all platforms. If you are watching on Give Me Sport, by the way, once you're done, get yourselves across to YouTube and subscribe to the Football Terrace. That's our channel. We go live after every single top 6 team and Leicester play a game in any competition. We have daily videos, breaking news, transfer videos, tactic videos, and much, much more to come in our new partnership with Give Me Sport. So make sure you come and subscribe to us over here. Let's get the panel on now, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do this. See what they got to say. Afternoon, what evening? It's 8 o'clock at night. Good. Look at this. I mean, it's such an interesting take. It's just an interesting take. We had a few Chelsea fans say they're really nervous now after winning today, and a few others have said, you got a Gal say that's made him now back Chelsea City more, and then others saying it's nonsense. We're favourites to win, etc. Why do you think there's such a split amongst people? David, you're on mute.
I was going to say, you very rarely see one team beat another team 3 teams on the bounce when they're of equal level. If it was like, if we were playing Wigan in the final, I'd be like, oh, we're going to win. No problem. It's Wigan. It's fine. We'll beat them. But when it's a team like City, the levels are equal, and very rarely does a team win 3 on the bounce. And in such a short time frame as well, because it'll literally be over like a 5-week period. Very rarely does that happen.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, I know we've gone through it individually. It's just, I do get your point, and I understand why the nerves are there. For me, from Chelsea fans, it's because of the magnitude of the game. If you were playing them in the FA Cup final, but you beat them today, I think the mood would be, it's because it's a Champions League final as well, and the size of it, the gravitas that kind of comes with that as an example. I did want to speak about the penalty as well, though. Like, a lot of people saying it should have been a penalty to City at the end. Neats, what was your view on that? Was it a penalty for Raheem Sterling, in your opinion?
Well, seeing as it wasn't given, I don't think I can really comment on such topic. Now, I'm joking. Now, for real though, like, if we're gonna keep it consistent, innit? Like, I don't see much of a difference with what Billy Gilmore did and what Zuma did. Zuma was extremely clumsy, and that's what he's known for. But it's like, from a neutral perspective, yeah, it's a pen. Yeah, it's a penalty. From what we saw earlier, it's a penalty, like, hands down. But I ain't complaining, I don't mind. I don't mind that it weren't given. But yeah, it was definitely a penalty.
Yeah, how about yourself, David? I mean, I know you mentioned it, like you mentioned it earlier. Are those was City's a penalty in the first? Was City's a penalty in your opinion? The one they got in the first? Do you think it should be penalties? I mean,
personally, I don't think either of them are penalties. Personally, I think they're both very, very soft penalties. Like, Agal, if that got given against Arsenal, all of your fans would be saying the VAR.
It did get given.
No,
and
and you also said VAR was against you. So why you're suddenly all like 100% penalty?
No. But if you're gonna look at it, I'm looking at it from perspective. Similar situation. Wolves, David Luiz barely touches the guy's foot, and he gets sent off with a red. And today, it wasn't even given as anything. So it just goes to show me
again,
there's
when
no level of
when you
consistency.
go look back at the David Luiz one, it says in the rules, if you unintentionally tackle someone in the box, it is a red card. All right, that's the rule. Unintentionally. Okay. I know it was unintentional.
What did Rudiger do today?
But it was Rudiger. Rudiger didn't do anything.
I mean, not Rudiger.
Zuma made a genuine challenge for the ball. That was a genuine challenge for the ball, more than David Luiz's was. No, it was. You can't sit here and tell me
he knew what he was doing. He knew what he was doing.
Yeah, he knew that
he couldn't get in front of him.
So at the same time, Sterling knew what he was doing as well. That's why Anthony Taylor didn't look twice.
I think if you're really going to sit here and be like, oh my God, it's a stone wall, how Chelsea have got away, I think you're fooling yourself. I think it's because it's not for your team. If it was for your team, you keep quiet.
At the end of the day, you guys won the game.
You're fuming.
You guys won the game, but it wasn't because of the penalty. You guys won the game because of numerous things. One, you kept fighting for that. You kept fighting for the goal, even though it looked like City were complacent with the draw at that point. And also, Aguero, what the hell was he doing on that penalty? That was probably the weakest penalty I've ever seen anyone take in a long time. He tried to Panenka him. It didn't work. And you know what? Mendy looked like the genius at that situation because he didn't move.
Did you see Mendy's face as well, right? In the slow-mo, he gets up, he's like, oh my God. He couldn't believe it. He's like, oh my God. And you got this, he's almost that look on his face like, I should now catch this because it's traveling through the air like this. but I need to make sure I do because like I couldn't believe Aguero tried that as well. Like I suppose that's the thing when you try and be flash, when it comes off, it looks amazing, but when it goes wrong, you do look a bellend. It's like boxers that put their chins out, and then what happened to Masvidal the other day when he was hands behind the back saying, "Yeah, you can't hurt me," and 4 seconds later he was it's just crazy when it happens. I mean, how do you think Aguero's feeling right now, Daniel, after that embarrassing penalty miss?
Do you know what? I actually agree with something that the commentators said. They said, like, how do you think Pep spoke to Aguero, who's a legend, like about the penalty miss? I think it's one of them ones where it's just like he tried it. It's a great player who's trying it. It's not like Ademola Lookman last minute in a game against West Ham or Fulham trying a Panenka, but like it's one of them ones where it's Aguero. Like you can be frustrated about it, but you can't really get onto him for it. Like he's a player who's capable of doing something like that. So I'm a bit fine with that. But in terms of the decisions, the conversation we're just having prior, I just think all in all, yeah, even though I thought it was a stonewall penalty, I think it leveled out, man. It levels out all across the season. I mean, you look at some penalty decisions that we should have had over the course of the season. We don't get all the penalties we deserve. Maguire against Azpilicueta comes to mind. I think there was one on Werner against I've forgotten who it was a couple weeks back, which wasn't given. So it levels out, man, across the whole season. So I'm fine with it. And even when you look at the chances as well, first half I think Man City edged it, but second half I think we were all over them, man. We deserved to win that game, 100%.
Are you guys taking this as another Tuchel masterclass? Because I'm hearing tactical
100%.
legend. People were saying
think about what he did. Two tactical things that he did that were quality. Taking off Kante, even though Kante was playing well, I think he recognized that Billy Gilmour needed someone who could marshal the midfield a bit more and someone who could also consider Billy as well whilst playing alongside him in terms of the technicalities, making space, creating space. And Jorginho reads the game very, very well. Something that is very, very underrated in him. Brings him on, brings a lot of control for us. We dominated that second half on the ball and everything to do with that, even when they brought on Gundogan and Phil Foden. And then the second one, he recognizes that Mendy and Zinchenko, who later came on, that right side or their left-hand side, we were dominate. Like, we were literally running through crazily. He brings on Cho, who, having not played in how many games, was so direct, so confident, played very, very well. And that's even after Ziyech was the one who scored. You thought Ziyech would stay on. Nah, he brings on Cho, a direct guy, tactical genius. And you saw Pep was worried. That's why he took off Mendy. That's why he said, let me bring on Zinchenko, my starting left back. And all in all, it wasn't enough. And we deserved the win, man. 3 offside goals, 3.
I know, it's crazy. Yeah. I mean, Werner's got to work on that a little bit. We're going to go to some super chats. Then we're going to add some calls.
Hey, don't cuss Timo.
No, because it's a problem. It's a problem, and I'm starting to get frustrated. As a forward, you track your run. You have to track. He's moving like Remy. Do you remember Remy? Remy was always offside. It's frustrating.
Well, I mean, he's the first Chelsea player since Eden Hazard to get both, double-digit goals and assists in his first season.
Okay, that's fine.
And that's cool. Sorry, on the Werner thing. Sorry, David. Like, you can't defend him on this. 2 or 3 of the offsides are laziness, where he's not working hard to get back on side. So that's a problem. That is a problem. That is legitimately a problem. You can just tell it's laziness. It's just sort of like sometimes he's not even jogging to get back on side. He's just not making any attempts.
Adjustment.
And you see, even Callum's offside goal, Timo was offside for the whole time.
Yeah, literally.
They were all running. Timo was like a yard ahead
At least
of everyone.
Joe was a kneecap offside. Like, you can understand that. Werner was offside for the whole move. The whole move.
I'm putting it down to adjustment.
No, you're putting it down to adjustment because you got to stop sniffing his bum crack, bro. Because at the end of the day, you've got to. Because at the end of the day, he's doing it because his confidence is shot to bits. So he's trying to get that extra bit of advantage, and he never needs to be offside. Fast players never need to be offside.
That's the frustrating thing. Like, he's so quick. He doesn't need to be.
But he is because of what he's doing. We're going to go to some super chats, though. We can talk more Timo Werner. I want some calls on this. But we are later on the show. We're going to talk about a really big piece of news today. One thing I hate about busy match days, I don't get to do the transfer videos, which I love. This has been confirmed today by Christian. I want to say Falk. I don't know actually pronounce it. Falk. That Mohamed Salah is on Chelsea shortlist this summer. When I first heard the rumor, I thought, is this the Daily Star? He says it's true. Mohamed Salah is on the shortlist for Thomas Tuchel and Chelsea, alongside the likes of Haaland and Lukaku. Chelsea could be going for, doesn't mean they'll get him, but Chelsea could be looking for a major money move for Mo Salah. We're going to talk about the possibilities of that. Would you want it to happen a little bit later on? Remember, we are live after Liverpool Southampton later as well. We're here all night for you. We're going to go to some super chats first. It's an interesting. When I saw it was Christian Falk that said it, I was like, "Wow, that's the madness."
That's reliable. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, I know. That's Fabrizio level in terms of the shortlist. Whether it happens or not is another thing. Can David explain why, no matter what he sides with the referee week in, week out, only fan I've come across who's like this?
Well, because I feel like referees get a really unfair, stick of things. I genuinely feel like they have a very hard job that they have to do, because you have to satisfy both sides of the fans, and they're given a set of rules that they have to follow. The rules aren't that great, and everyone's like blaming the refs. It's like you're focusing your attentions on the wrong people. You should be focusing on the FA and looking at the rules.
Do you know what's interesting about you, bruv? It shows me that you are a Tory, right? Because Tories are. It's like, yeah, but I'm sticking to the rules. That's what the law says. No, but the law's bad. Yeah, I don't care about that. We're sticking to the rules. Do you know what I mean? It says in the rule book you can lock people in cages at the port. That's the rules. Do you know what I mean? That's what you sound like, bro. But loads of super chats here. Ryan says, Agal, I don't expect you to say. Sorry. Agal, I don't expect you to say better. I can hear the jealousy in your voice. Show Chelsea some respect. We are not Arsenal. Respect to my Chelsea fans. Ryan, one second.
First one to come on here.
Bro, you come in a minute. I need to get so many super chats. I've got to get them all done. It says here, Arsenal are a dead club, Agal. Just letting you know. No way Aguero is a thought in Pep's mind for the final. Aguero might have cost himself a start in the final as well. Man City may be the best team in England, but Chelsea are going to be the best in Europe, is what Rose says. Over to you, Agal.
Look, I come on here. I'm the first one to throw salt. After you guys do have a good performance and win games, I come on here and I beat you guys up. So if you don't like me being here, why would I always come on just to make fun of you and not come on to big you guys up when you guys do well? That's my point, right? And second of all, when you guys perform the way you guys did today, there's nothing to throw salt about. I'm just saying, analyzing the situation and saying, going into the final, they're going to make adjustments, and you should be more worried winning 2 games on a bounce than you would be if you had gone into that level, knowing Pep's final record, knowing everything. That's not salt. That's just giving you some information that you need to know.
We will also make adjustments, though. Do bear that in mind.
Of course.
Do you know what I think really could happen here? Stan with super chat there as well said, how does this man have the arrogance to talk about Tuchel not being tactically right? I don't think that's what Agal is saying. Like, listen to what Agal is saying. Like, with respect to Agal, he's basically saying that he, like some Chelsea fans are saying, that the balance of probability it might tick into play for the final. I don't think what Agal's saying is disrespectful, at all. We're going to go to some more calls now. We're going to talk Mo Salah to Chelsea a little bit later as well. First on the show, we're going to get Pavs with us. What you saying, Pav?
I'm good, man. These Chelsea fans a few months ago, man, these lot were stressed. And now a few months later, they're on for a cup double. Like, I don't think any of them expected that when Tuchel come in. And what that guy's done for them, like, at the end of the season, the first bit of business they need to do is probably give this man a new contract. I don't think for 1 second Man City's going to win that Champions League. I think Tuchel's got Pep's number. That guy looks stressed. He doesn't know what to do. And Leicester as well, I don't think they've got enough firepower against Chelsea. So these Chelsea fans, they've got 2 cups to look forward to in the next few weeks. And yeah, like, I don't know, man. I feel a bit jealous, like, with what they're doing. The way that he's turned some of these players around, like, some of you guys are saying that Timo Werner should be doing more, but for his first season without a pre-season, from where he was at the start to where he is now, he should be a bit happy. Like, I think with a pre-season, next year he's going to be a major threat. And you're probably like maybe 1 defender and 1 striker away from probably winning the league next year as well. I don't think you really need anything more. And yeah, you guys should be really happy, man. You're doing really well. And I've got to say, like, manager of the season, I know he's only coming halfway through, but you probably might have to give it to Tuchel for what he's done. Yeah.
Yeah, Pav, it's one of those things. I don't think anyone has to say anything back in return. I think you're spot on with everything that you had to say there. That there is definitely stress in Pep. You saw it at the end. Like, you saw that stress coming in where he just didn't know. I tell you now, if he doesn't wear a suit for the final, he's also going to lose. Tracksuit or suit for that fight. If man turns up in sort of weird tight cargo pants and a hoodie, I want him to lose. I've got a thing about people dressing right for right. Somebody said to me the other day, like, "Oh, you wear hoodies on your streams." Yeah, bruv, this is a stream at home in my little studio. I'm not in the final of one of the biggest sporting events in the world. Wear that damn suit, bro. Wear a suit. Trim your beard up and all that. I was about to say have a haircut. That's a bit hard.
You need to wear a tux in it for the Europa final, bro.
Yeah.
Put a tux on.
Did I do it? Should I wear a tux? No.
Put on a tux, bro.
Oh, well, maybe we'll do that. Listen, Pav, top man, speak to you soon, bro. Thank you very, very much indeed. Next on the show, we're going to go to, I'm not too sure how to pronounce this. How would I pronounce the name? U-Y-I.
Yui.
Yui.
I want to say Yui.
Yeah,
I'm going to say it this way. Welcome to the show, bruv. How do I say your name?
Uy.
Uy. Yeah,
Anita
bruv.
should know how to pronounce that. Anita, come on, man.
Maybe if Anita
Is it Nigerian?
No. I thought she was gonna support him to help him pronounce it. So good to be here. Hello, everybody.
Hey.
Yeah, top performance from Tuchel's boys, from the Blues. There's a couple of points I'd like to discuss. First of all, I noticed that some Chelsea fans are not too excited, or probably they are scared to celebrate the results and stuff like that. But personally, this is a fantastic result for me. You know, considering the top four race, this is almost a certainty that Chelsea is going to make top four. Because who do we have next? We have Leicester, who's not having a good form recently, and we have Arsenal. We all know how that will likely go. You know, I'm trying not to be too cocky here, but you know what I mean. But for that was a tactical masterclass from Tuchel, because he dominated Pep obviously in two different games. This game, you can say, the Man City fans can say, they didn't play their first team. Chelsea fans can also say the same thing. But look at the in-game tactical management. You know, how do you manage the team that are in the field of play? Tuchel, the way he managed the team, we can say, if Aguero has scored the penalty, to have been a different result, or the game would have changed in a different direction or whatever. But you could see that how Chelsea attack, sometimes Man City don't even have an answer. Let's even go back to the FA Cup game. The FA Cup game, it was something similar. Man City didn't really have an answer, you know. Chelsea just kept going and going. When Chelsea want to slow the game, they slow it down, you know. Chelsea dictated the play all through. Also, Timo Werner, I want to talk about Timo Werner. I know that some people are kind of worried about him being offside or missing chances and all that. Personally, at the beginning of the season, I wasn't confident about Timo Werner. But as Tuchel came in, I noticed how he kind of made his runs more important to the team. You could see today how he could break those city lines. Some of those offside calls were very small. They were very tiny. The space, you know, there was a particular one that Ziyech gave to him. You know, if Ziyech had let the ball go earlier, I don't think he would have been offside. But I think as time goes on, probably next season, Timo Werner is going to come good. And if he does, I really do not see any reason why Chelsea should even go for a striker at this point. Also, you guys should remember today that Mason Mount did not play. Anita, I see you. But see, Mason Mount did not play today, but Chelsea had the performance in midfield was okay. You know, Rodri was there. You can say, Fernandinho didn't play and all that. But Rodri was there. If Mason Mount had played in that game, would have been more dominant in that midfield. You know, also Kovacic is yet to return. When Kovacic went for his injury, I was very scared. I thought maybe Chelsea attacking play would be very, very affected. But so far, Chelsea have managed to cope with Kovacic's loss. And when he comes back, it's going to be something else. This result today, it will play into Pep's weakness. Pep is going to overthink that final. He's going to say, oh, what could I have done in the FA Cup? What could I have done in the league? And then he'll overthink it. I would not be surprised if he plays, I don't know, 6-man defense. I don't know. He will do something crazy. Just mark my words. He will do something crazy for that final.
I agree with you. I agree with you completely. I do. Listen, my friend, thank you for calling the show and having your say. Great point. Take care, my guy. Thank you very much indeed. Did raise some good points. I do think he'll overthink it. He did. Funny, Anita, you should know how to say it. And you're like, is it Nigerian? He's like, no. And I'm thinking, because Anita, because has Nigerian heritage, should understand the pronunciation of every African name known to man. I mean,
my African brothers and sisters, I love you lot. I love you guys, but I don't know every name. The Nigerian ones I'm gonna do.
Yeah, I find like obviously I know there's a connection between the continent because of things that have gone on in the world, but it's like expecting a French person to understand all cultural aspects and names of people from I don't know, the Ukraine. They're both in Europe, but do you know what I mean? Just different parts of the world. It's mad. I love it. We're gonna go to Tom Little now. We're gonna get Tom on the show. Tom's a Liverpool fan. I want to go straight to Tom on this. I know your team's playing right now. What's your thoughts on these links of Mo Salah being on Chelsea's shortlist?
Don't even tell you. Don't even. It's a non-starter, but if that were to happen, we're done as a club. We're done as a club. Premier League champions then go and lose their best player inside a year to rivals. Imagine that. But that's not going to happen. I think on that game, I think this was Pep's madness. What he normally does, he was cashing in the madness thing he does with them 4 attackers, 1 midfielder. But if that had worked today, if Aguero had scored that pen and City had held out, I genuinely think he would have played that in the final. Because he's still looking for that thing that will beat Tuchel. He's still looking for that thing that can get through that stubborn Chelsea defence. And he hasn't found it yet. And for the first half today, it looked like he had. But Tuchel changed something. And it scares me how good he is. Because this is a great manager in Tuchel. With the backing of Abramovich, who will just buy whoever he wants. Whoever the manager needs to succeed. Chelsea, if they trust in Tuchel, if they're willing to build this project around them, they could be a force for half a decade. That's the scary thing.
The way Anita's smiling annoys me.
Me too, man.
The thing is about
what are you doing?
He's watching the game. He's watching the game.
Yeah.
No, the thing is about Guardiola and Tuchel. It's not like they've never faced each other before England. Like they faced each other in Germany, and Guardiola won 2, and they drew the other one. And one of the losses was, I think, on penalties or lost in extra time in like the last minute. So he has beaten Tuchel before, and I think that's kind of playing on his mind. Of I used to be able to beat this guy. He's like pretty well. But again, the teams over there were like this when Bayern was this team and Dortmund was down here. Suddenly now it's like this. And when your team's like this, like your manager suddenly becomes an even bigger factor than it was before.
Well, of course it is. And
Did you see the XG?
No.
It was like 1.8 to Man City, obviously including the penalty, to 0.58 to Chelsea. Ridiculous.
Yeah, but a penalty is 1, so take 1 off and it's 0.8 to 0.5.
I think a penalty is 0.8, you know. Yeah, I think a penalty is 0.8. So it's like 1 to 0.5.
Yeah, it's not.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, look, do you know, in the end of the day, I think Chelsea have. I think what a lot of people underestimate with Chelsea because of the Mane. Oh, sorry. I thought he was going to score then. No, because of how bad things were going on the Frank Lampard. I think people wrote off how good and deep the Chelsea squad is. That there is just such good quality in there, and then a much better manager's come in and sort of made them look great. What I did notice today with City as well, though, is that the whole season this year, the word system and individual brilliance has been used a lot. But what I noticed was very, very simple. You take out the better ballers, and even Pep Guardiola's system isn't as potent or as good. Like this, individual brilliance makes a system amazing. The reason Tuchel's system at Chelsea looks better than maybe it did at Dortmund is because he's got better players to operate within that world. If you took all these Chelsea players and stuck them in that Dortmund team, they could have beaten Bayern Munich to the league title. It's the players that make the system better. And that's why I've been so confused this season, because these things are just like, stupid statements like "you need to breathe to stay alive." It's like, well, of course, individual brilliance makes the system better. I don't even know why it's become a talking point in football. It seems to. Tom, listen, mate, I'll let you get back to your game. Thanks for coming on and having your say, mate. Top man. Thank you. Latimus is here. Laddie, what are you saying?
I don't get why Chelsea fans are nervous saying that City are going to win the final. I think Pep is going to do what he normally does. He's going to He's going to do what he normally does. He's just going to overthink it, and he's going to probably end up playing a 3 at the back again or something. Like, I don't know what it is, but Tuchel just has something over him. And especially it is a big game. It's not like it's another league game or it's an FA Cup final. No disrespect to it. It's a Champions League final. City haven't been in there before. Pep hasn't been to a Champions League final in about a decade, right? And it's like he really needs to win this, because that's part of why he was brought into City, is to build this dynasty and win the Champions League. So Chelsea, in my opinion, Chelsea have already won the Champions League. I don't think there's nothing Pep can throw at us that we can't.
What?
My personal opinion.
No, allow it. Like it's
Today's the
fine,
8th of May.
I know. No. I'm not actually joking. It's gonna be difficult. It's gonna be tight. It's gonna be close. But I think we will win it. So
keep the same energy. We remember this. On the day of the final, he's gonna be like, you know what?
Yeah, I mean, in fairness, though, he's either going to be right or wrong. Like,
literally.
I think Chelsea are going to win the Champions League as well. The problem is what people hear is that you say, I think Chelsea are going to win it. And it's like, what, you saying Pep's a bad manager? Nah, I just think Chelsea are going to win it. Like, it's not an insult towards Man City. I just think the feel-good factor, the competitiveness, the 2 wins from 2, everything is just, it's a story. It's that, it's the don't sack our legend. You know what I mean? The Make-A-Wish.com manager got sacked, and suddenly it's the story of the season for Chelsea is also what I think is going to make them win it. I really, really do. Sorry, Dan, you can say something?
Do you know? Just quickly, do you know what makes me laugh about everyone saying that City's going to win? It's like City have it all to win and like nothing to lose. Like, it's like City are going to win because we won the 2 games. So like, it's done. Like, there's no way Pep can't lose, as if Pep's a unbeatable manager because it's the biggest game of his life. And what about the players that are playing on the pitch for the first time it's their biggest game of their life as well. And it's like, people forget, one thing that I think people haven't factored in and what Tuchel's been able to do in 2 games against Man City is that we can also have that 30 minutes of the game where we literally dominate the ball and we look like the team that's going to score. Not many teams can do that against Man City. There's one way of winning where you just counter-attack. Set up your team in a way where you just literally counter-attack. That's how Leeds have beat Man City. And I'd even make the argument that's how Man United beat Man City as well. It's literally set up your team to counter-attack, 2 banks of 4 quickly, and then you break. We can control possession. We can have the ball and go toe-to-toe with them when it comes to playing with the ball, playing the football, the combination play. And look, I just think it's equally weighted. And again, the pressure isn't on us to win that final. That is what is going to play into our hands ultimately, in my opinion. City have it all, literally all to lose because they're the team that are expected to win. They're the team that many predicted to win. They're the best team in Europe. And that's why I believe we have a psychological edge. I know Pep's great, but he's human as well. He's human. Let him slap his head.
No, I just agree. I agree massively. Ro here says, do you think Tuchel rested his best players to face Arsenal so that he could teach Arteta tactics?
I swear, we have to beat Arsenal. Like, being Arsenal, literally, like, top 4 secured. Like, it's in the bag.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, we have to be. We have to.
Just so I can change the conversation slightly. I want to ask you guys this: Do you guys feel like it's easier? Do you guys feel like it's harder to actually win the Premier League nowadays than it is to actually for the top teams in the Premier League to compete in the Champions League? Okay, let me reiterate that: Is it easier to win the Premier League in today's age with the competition that you have to face in the Premier League, or is it easier to actually get to a Champions League final, like Chelsea having an easier route than they did this year?
It depends, because the Champions League is a competition. So by definition, it is random.
Yeah,
so you can't say whether it is or not.
Winning the league is the ultimate challenge because it's a 38 game marathon. As you say, you can get if Chelsea were on the other side of the draw and had to go through what City have gone through, maybe we don't know the answer. Maybe they wouldn't be here, but I think they would because they've been conceding goals. I don't think anyone's breaking them down in that regard. But yeah, that's why winning the league is the ultimate. But typically, what wins you the league is having a very good manager for the whole season, which Chelsea haven't got, and having a strong squad because you've got to be able to rotate. And that's the thing. City have got a big, strong squad. It's why Chelsea are title contenders, in my opinion, next year. With Tuchel from the start, a full preseason, 2 or 3 more quality signings, the squad's going to be thick, it's going to be deep, and it's going to be really, really potent. And that's where Man United have got a big squad, but you scratch beneath the surface and the quality of players is poor. Arsenal don't have a squad. Liverpool don't have a squad. They just don't, and that's why they can't compete. So I think it's right in what you're saying, but you've got to look at the context of it. You've got a big squad like City and like Chelsea. You can do both.
Okay, so my point was, I made this argument and someone was laughing at me. I said it's easier in today's day to actually win the Champions League than it is to actually win the Premier League. With the amount of teams you're competing with in the Premier League, it's easier to do that. So in that sense, is it your team should be judged on what they do in their league? And in that case, Arsenal, going back to Arsenal now, if we were to have won the Europa League, it wouldn't have meant nothing to you guys because you will still have laughed at us based on our league position.
Yeah, we've been saying this to you since the start of the season. Where you finish in the league is a barometer that legitimately how good where you are. If you finish 10th, you're the 10th best team in England. That's it. Chelsea's situation is a little different because they've had a manager come in halfway through, so you have to look at what. I think Tuchel would be second if the league started when he arrived. So they already know they're the second best team since Tuchel arrived in the league. That gives you confidence moving forward. If you would have won the Europa League and got into the Champions League, it's something to celebrate, but you should still have in the back of your head, we still need to improve so much domestically. What normally happens is you won an FA Cup last year and it papered over all your cracks. You're all just like, but we won a trophy, so that means it's success. Because it's a success, I can ignore the bad bits. That's just stupidity, bruv. Do you know what I mean? There's still problems there, bruv, and you can't paper over cracks just by. It's what Ollie meant by his comments around people sometimes win a trophy and they let it paper over cracks. How you generally see success is: are you winning more games, growing in the league, scoring more goals, conceding less? That's always been the barometer. The league position is the ultimate barometer for how good or how bad you are, in my opinion.
Okay, so I'm not going to belittle Chelsea if they do win the Champions League. And I'm never going to make fun of it because we don't have any Champions Leagues. But one thing I would say is it's much harder to win the league than it is to win the Champions League.
No, don't do that. Please. Don't do that.
Because that's in the same breath. You're belittling our achievement.
Exactly.
Like, in the same breath.
No. I don't have any say to say anything negative about Chelsea winning the Champions League.
That's like saying, I'm not gonna kill him, but I'll just put a cheeky stab in his heart. Like you literally just did that right now. Like,
Agal, but your logic again. Do you know what you're doing, Agal? And I don't want to sound rude here. You're doing the "you need to breathe to stay alive" thing again. We all know that winning a league title is harder than winning a Champions League, but. Cool. I don't even know what to say. I don't get your point. It's just like we know that already. If Chelsea win the Champions League, they're not saying we're the best team in England because they've won the league. It's just we're the best team in Europe this year. That's it. I mean, I don't get.
They're actually not. They're actually
not. Oh, come on.
This may be a little bit foreign to you. This is not normal for you, and I understand that. As an Arsenal,
you even forget that it's even silly. The argument's even silly. When we won the champs in 2012. We weren't the best team in Europe when we won it, but we were still the best team based on the fact that we won the trophy. So we could say we were the best team in Europe because we won the trophy. Of course, when you want to put all the semantics into it, that is
the best team in Europe doesn't necessarily always win the Champions League.
No, yeah, but we know that. In Europe, their barometer of success is a cup competition. Therefore, the winners of that competition are the best team in Europe for that year. That's their barometer. In a league format, their barometer is whoever gets the most points is the best team. So you're looking at two different things and you're trying to equal them. It doesn't work.
And Igal, what you're also doing is you're confusing serious football conversation with banter and boasting. So Chelsea fans will say we're the best team in Europe because we won the Champions League. And I get why they would say that. Some may believe it to be completely true. Others are saying it because they've won the trophy. But most people know that Man City have been the best. Most people probably universally have Man City been the best team overall in Europe this season. And everybody knows that. But are we having a serious chat, or are we having a bit of a laugh and a bit of a joke and a bit of banter? Your point around Chelsea, I'm not going to belittle it, but it's much harder to win a league. It's sort of like, I don't get it, Rob. I'm so confused. No team since the European Cup begun ever in history have more Champions Leagues than league titles. Not Madrid, not Liverpool, not Milan. Nobody. Agal is wrong. So, I mean, yeah, I suppose I get your point. Now, what he's saying is that nobody has 20 or 30 Champions Leagues, but they do have 20 or 30 league titles.
Yeah.
Which is true, but then what you've got. I do think this conversation's. I don't think it's nonsensical, but there's so many things to factor in. What can sometimes happen in a year is you can look at Bayern Munich. Their game against PSG came at the wrong time. They were in a little bit of poor form, and they had some important. If Lewandowski was fit, they win that game. They were then in the semi-final, and it's a different. So you have to. All these things happen in the league. A bad month may not cost you the title. One bad game in the Champions League and you can be out. So it's so hard to compare the two because they're completely different formats. The irony is the Super League would have given us the answers we wanted to this question, wouldn't it? Like the Super League would have actually told us who the best. And even then, like you look at the what was that sport? American football. You could finish top of the league standing, but not actually win the damn thing at the end of it because you might go out in the playoffs. But it's just different formats. Anyway, we digress massively on that. Latimer, thanks for coming on. We're gonna do a few more calls before the end of the show, bro. Top man. We've got Fixer who's here. What are you saying, Fixer?
Yeah, hi. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh yeah. I was just gonna say, Chelsea's really doing the madness, aren't they? However, I don't see Guardiola losing to Tuchel three games in a row, So I think this might be something for Chelsea fans to consider because they obviously lost in the FA Cup semis and they lost today, and I just don't see Guardiola losing again to the same team 3 times in a row, especially when it really matters, So I think man's still gonna be ready for it. The next time you guys meet them, yeah.
It certainly will be an interesting one. And look, I understand that the probability element and the likelihood. I just think Tuchel's got the edge on him right now and the psychological edge as well. Listen, everyone that has tuned into us today, a massive appreciation to I know there's still like 10, 12 people backstage, but I can't get everybody on today. I'm really, really sorry. We're live again after Liverpool Southampton. That's where I've got to go because I've actually got to watch the game. I've got to talk about it in just over an hour's time. So thank you all very much for tuning in. Please subscribe to the Football Terrace. Thank you to everybody over on Give Me Sport that has tuned in to us as well. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again. Actually, sorry, my man of the match. I didn't name my man of the match was Alonso. I picked Alonso for picking the winner. I just did it because he got the winner. Like it is what it is. So that's my man of the match. I thought he had a good game as well. To be fair, I thought
it was all right. I wouldn't have given him man of the match.
It was all right. I wouldn't give him man of the match, but I hear it. Fair enough.
I mean, in fairness though, he got one of the highest ratings on Who Scored, but that's not what I picked it on. But I get it. I know
everyone loves that Who Scored rating thing.
For real. I don't, to be fair. I'm not a fan of it. But do you know what it was? I gave it to Alonso. I went very FIFA today. I gave it to the guy that scored the winner. You know, when you play FIFA, you can have a midfielder bored all game, and then some dude who had a terrible. Jota's gonna. Oh, good save. Jota should be scoring that. You think, right? I don't know. Pogba's getting man of the match today because he's balled out. But the guy that scored the last minute winner, they always give it to me. He used to annoy me. So it's gone to Alonso. Everyone who picked, we'll go through the comments. Everyone who picked Alonso, you will go into the prize draw. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you.